Hey, what's up, Hognose fans? Thanks for tuning in to Hognose 1. We are back with another continuation video here, Hognose Wholesale Part 2. So, selling wholesale needs to be distinguished here between selling to a specialist breeder, which in this case would be a hognose breeder, versus selling to a generalist wholesaler. Typically, the structure of a generalist wholesale business is they will buy all your animals. Let's say, for instance, they buy 100 baby hognose from you. They will then take those 100 hognose and divvy them up into 5 groups of 20 animals. One group will go to St. Louis, one group will go to Seattle, one will go to Pennsylvania, one will go to Memphis, and the other one will be sold right there in Florida. And basically, in this situation, they would sell to an entity called a distributor or a jobber. You might think of that kind of like a Walmart distribution warehouse. The producers will sell to the big wholesalers, which will in turn sell to a jobber or distributor. Now, once they're at the jobber or the distributor, oftentimes they're divvied up into smaller groups. Each one of those jobbers or distributors would divvy them up. Okay, they bought 20 animals. They'll separate them into 2 lots of 10, and they'll sell them to a flipper. Maybe they'll sell them to a pet shop, and that hognose snake has had 4 homes oftentimes before it's even had one meal. So these are the issues that exist when you buy from a generalist wholesaler. I remember going to a reptile show one time, and there were some amazing snakes that were labeled as snows in quotations. So in the snows, we could tell that they were not only snows, they were also snow ghosts. They just had a specific look to them. Some of them were even snow ghost anaconda. So a 4-gene animal. This was in 2019. And a friend of mine said, "Are you going to buy some of those 4-gene animals?" And I thought, I would, but I just can't, because I know that they've had multiple homes before they actually arrived there at that particular wholesaler. Plus, I don't know anything about the animals. I know that this wholesaler, even their little display cages, looked pretty nasty. There was stuff, a monitor right next to the hognose deal, and then there was little turtles in the next one, and then there was a hognose. And then while I'm sitting there talking, he pulls the hognose out of the one they're in, moves the tortoise over. It was a little baby redfoot tortoise, and then he puts the hognose where the redfoot tortoise was. And I'm like, yeah, probably not a good idea to do that. So I would discourage that. Find your specialist breeder, because it eliminates multiple owners. Now, an established breeder knows that buying wholesale eliminates competition, meaning that if they go through and buy your whole group of animals, they don't have you as a competitor for them at a reptile show. They don't have you as a competitor for them online, and they also don't have you as a competitor for them when they go to export animals. So the smart ones, the smart hognose snake breeders that buy from those that have bought breeders from them, their brood stock and whatever, they're very wise, because they don't have to worry about the people they sell animals to being their competition. So they eliminate the competition. I know in the boa market, gosh, for 15 years, and maybe longer than that, they would go through buyers and buy an entire group of babies. So if a boa had babies, maybe 20 babies, they would say, "I'll buy them all, buy the whole group." And the process there is eliminating competition. You're getting good animals. You're getting them for a discounted price. And what big breeder wouldn't want to get quality stock from the people that they've sold their animals to? It's basically the grandparents of the ones they produce themselves. So it's a great situation all the way around. One last thing I want to talk about in this vid is a co-op. If you've ever heard of a co-op, I'm here in an industrial area of Texas where we have lots of textiles like cotton. We've got produce like corn, cantaloupes, all kinds of different produce. So a co-op is created when a group of producers, like farmers, come together and determine that they're going to price in one specific manner when they bring their items to market. So that is a co-op. There are hognose groups that do a co-op. It's a similar situation. They know the people they've sold their animals to have produced quality animals. They know those babies come from their bloodlines. They'll buy them back so that they can resell, typically at 40% of value or 50% of value. And those will be worked back into their projects for personal stuff they want, or it will go out for export, or they will sell online. This is just a common practice. It's just called a co-op. They can also control prices that way. But the reality is a lot of those folks that are in that try to control prices outside of their co-op. But you cannot control another breeder's price unless you buy their animals. I've approached some before and said, hey, I'll sell you my stock for 50% of fair market retail value, and you can sell them wherever you want. You can mark them up however you want, but they were just unwilling to do so. Sometimes it's hard-headedness. Sometimes it's other situations. I don't really understand it, but I think that a lot of people that are in a real good advantage, meaning that they have a good market going for something, should explore this as a reality, because they could get some top quality animals for their own collections or for their customers. And we need to explore this as a community, because, man, it would really eliminate a lot of the competition that we see at the reptile shows. Daytona Beach is getting really competitive, 18, 20 hognose snake breeders. All the ball python guys, you know what I'm talking about. You've experienced this, you've seen this. And I think if there were some smarter heads at the top, they would come together and go, you know what, we could eliminate all of this competition and streamline our sales through specific given channels and make the hobby a more enjoyable place for all. You wholesaling just means you get a pocket full of cash, and you're able to take care of what you need to, focus on other things. You don't have to worry about setting up and selling at tables at a given show, whatever. You just eliminate that whole element. You want to come to the show, hang out, have drinks, go to the auctions, do it. But you don't have to worry about competing with the biggest names. You've just sold to them with a pocket full of cash and ready to have some fun. So just consider that as a seller. Consider these things that I'm talking about as a buyer. I think that if we utilize some of this stuff, we can really go places in the hognose community and see it streamline into a very productive avenue. So make these considerations. As always, thank you for the like and subscribe, and I hope to catch you on the flip side.